Now, cycling's growing fast, and accidents are also increasing, but not as fast as cycling. Cycling's getting safer, probably because there's more awareness and safety in numbers. But in the last couple of years, the proportion of bicycle accidents that involve car doors has doubled. It used to be about 4%, now it's regularly about 7 or 8% of all bicycle accidents.
I've never been doored. I've had a couple of close calls, but nothing really scary. I've been very lucky.
I have, yeah, but it was on the say this side, on the passenger side of the car.
Oh, wow. That's unlucky.
Coming into one of these spots up there, yeah, and I jammed my finger in between the car door and my handlebar.
No, I haven't actually. I've been really lucky not to have been car doored.
A driver is always the responsible party when there is a dooring. There's no out. It's always the driver's fault.
I've startled cyclists in the past, and so you learn quickly after that.
I drive 4-drive, so I find it when I'm in the lanes in general it's hard because it's so close. But I haven't hit anyone. No, I haven't really had any close calls or anything. So
The fine for opening a car door in front of a cyclist or any other vehicle so as to cause a hazard is 3 penalty units, and a penalty unit's about $122, so it's 3 times that.
Yeah, I think if there's a bike lane next to where the car is, I try to ride on the outer edge of that bike lane and just keep a lookout and stuff like that.
Broken a collarbone, getting doored, so yeah, it's happened before. On the way to an exam.
Well, the number of those accidents has grown quite fast as inner city cycling booms, but as a proportion of all accident types involving bikes, it has doubled.
Critical thing about doorings, it's about driver behaviour. So drivers have got to get into the habit of always checking the mirror, and the new behaviour we want to see them use is open the door with the left hand, because that encourages them to swivel in their seat and check the mirror at the same time as they're opening the door. So those two behaviours will make a huge difference if we can get drivers to adopt them.
On the driver's side, yeah, there's always a reflex really to look behind.
On the passenger side, if I'm next to a Copenhagen-style lane, being a rider myself, I'm just really conscious of triple checking and making sure there's no one coming past.
I'm constantly looking at parked cars. Yeah, I'm always in there. I don't ride too far out onto the road. We see a lot of people do that as well. But yeah, if I'm looking in the back windows of the car, see if there's someone in there, and try and make eye contact with them in the mirrors. And yeah, that's sort of how I avoid it. I'm lucky I haven't actually been. There've been a couple of close calls, I guess, but I've been pretty lucky.
Not unless I've seen somebody just recently park or indicators of somebody going into a car kind of thing, then you kind of just swerve around them.
Any sensible response to road safety problems is going to involve education, enforcement and physical changes. We're starting to see some of those Copenhagen-style lanes being created in the inner city.
Nowadays I ride with, because it's happened to me and pretty much every one of my riding mates or anyone that I know that rides in the city, they've either had a close call or it's happened to them. So I normally give a bit more distance, even if it means I'm riding sort of in the lane of traffic rather than right in the bike lane.
The infrastructure question about whether we should be moving our bike lanes across onto the curb side of the street rather than having them on the door side of the street. And of course the other one was the twin issue of getting riders to ride a little bit further out from the car doors at the same time as pressing home to drivers their responsibility to always check in the mirror and never open a door when there's a rider coming.
I tend to stay well out away from doors, and I have quite a loud bell, and I use it if I see someone sitting in a car, just to let them know I'm there and I'm coming through.
You just sort of give that little bit more space. I always give that little bit more space, even if you're encroaching on the lane a little bit more. Just especially if you're coming down the hill and you're at some speed.
I would rather ride with the traffic than in the door zone.
There's got to be a high level of police enforcement, but we've also got to get the message out to drivers that this is something that they can do something about.
We've got a bill before the Parliament that equates that offence, opening a car door so as to form a hazard, with running a red light or driving past the open doors of a tram.
You know, obviously it doesn't tickle. It's, you know, you just a bit of scratch. everyone's really apologetic, you know. Just makes them more aware next time, I guess.
The guy was very apologetic as well because he was just a passenger getting out.
Maybe because I am a bike rider, I always sort of check first, but yeah, we're always pretty conscious of it. I think in cities like Melbourne, most people are pretty conscious. It's so popular, so many bikes around, people are pretty conscious of other people on the road, bike riders and whatnot. I find Melbourne pretty good, really.